Hi, my name is Marie Owens Thomsen, and I have the great pleasure of being responsible for sustainability and economics at IATA.
That's an incredible combination of roles there. We've had a very, very active IATA AGM so far on both of those issues. Give us a little bit of a kind of summary.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's a systemic issue, right? Climate change. And if we persist in attacking systemic issues in a piecemeal kind of way, we will fail. Yeah. So our merger of sustainability and economics at IATA is an expression of the realization that we need to think differently about these things. And what we are trying to do is, of course, make airlines both financially and environmentally sustainable. And we try to take as a holistic view on those matters as we possibly can.
And those two things are inextricably linked.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that we have to overcome.
Yes, I mean, I think the main challenge, if you are saying that we want airlines to be both financially and environmentally sustainable, and then you realize how much money it's going to cost to, engineer this transformation into making air transportation sustainable, then you understand that the first challenge is how do we do that given airlines' low profitability. So we are predicting 3.7% net profit margins for the whole industry this year. So this is a low margin industry, and it's a low margin industry among low margin industries. Yeah. So it's I think that's one of the first perhaps popular misconceptions that I would love to correct. That people somehow thinks that airlines are rich and need to be taxed. That is not the case. But we're not asking for subsidies for ourselves. Yeah, what we are asking for is more policy support for renewable energy production and renewable fuel production in particular when it pertains to our industry. And it's appalling that governments still give money to oil companies and don't give the same kind of money to the renewable energy companies. So these would be my two big things. Yeah, everybody should understand that airlines are a low margin industry, and everybody should stop subsidizing oil companies and start helping renewable energy companies more.
And how can they help renewable energy companies?
As easily as they're helping the oil companies. In the US, for instance, oil exploration and production companies can deduct virtually all of their costs from their tax returns, but renewable energy companies cannot. That is incongruous. Yeah, very hard to understand. So at the very least, without any net effect on the fiscal budget, you could allow the renewable energies companies the same benefits and remove some of those benefits from oil companies. And then you would have a much more fair picture of the investment propositions.
And IATA obviously set a very ambitious and visionary target of 2050. Here we are in 2025. We have a quarter of a century to go. What's your degree of confidence on getting there?
No, confidence, that's a tricky question, yeah. But if I ignore that word and instead go with feasibility, is this possible? I would say absolutely possible. Yeah, we know we have the technologies, we know how to do it. The money involved is, not nothing, but also completely comparable to the money that we involved collectively in wind and solar development when those markets were new. So this is a second incongruity, is like, why did we do that for wind and solar and now we refuse to do it for sustainable aviation fuel? Very hard to explain. So if we did mobilize in the same way, we could totally do this. And we could finance it, many times over with the subsidies that countries are giving to the oil companies today. So it's entirely possible and very hard to understand why people are not motivated to do it. And there you go. Clearly the current geopolitical climate doesn't sort of increase people's motivation. The low oil prices, I believe also somewhat reduces people's motivation, but nevertheless, it's clearly the fastest way to more growth and more wealth creation is that we actually achieve the energy transition for everybody, and for air transportation as just one part of that.
Yeah, I mean, we know the economic impact of connectivity and aviation, right? And so correlating that to sustainability is clear and, as you say, feasible. So we have Prime Minister Modi coming to the event this afternoon. What's the one question or the one ask you would make of him?
Oh, I would first of all congratulate him for what I see as an expression of the realization of the multiplier effect of air transportation. The Indian government seems to really have adopted, developing air transportation as an economic development strategy for the whole government. That is, I would love to see more countries behave in exactly the same way. Now, what could be done further? It would be more harmonization, more standardization, more fluidity for business across states within India, and the more we can harmonize and get a level playing field for everybody, the greater the wealth effect is of the growth of our industry.
And on that note, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time.
I thank you so much for your kind interest.